Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here, honestly. And thank you for that introduction. So today I am very excited to talk about, sorry, let me close this. This topic, which I have faced in my own life. So I was born and raised in New York City. And so much of my life was constantly about uh, achieving success. And, New Yorkers are known as being fast paced people who just want to get the job done. So Alhamdulillah, I went to school, I went to university, I have a job. And then there was like a point in your life where you're just sitting there and you're really reflecting and you're like, why am I not happy with what I have? And, we constantly hear the Prophet and the Imams, always saying to be grateful and to do shukr to Allah for everything you have. And despite me knowing that I had so many great things, I still felt like there was a piece that I was missing and I just didn't understand why. And so I went on a journey, and I'm still on the journey. I think with life, you have to continuously grow and be challenged. But I was really on this hunt of trying to find that, like, that why, like, why am I not satisfied, like what's going on. And so today I wanted to share with you guys some of the great things that I've learned and applied to my life and how it's really transformed and changed me. So today we're going to be really focusing on why am I not satisfied. Why aren't we happy? So many of us wake up every day and we just lay there and we're not exactly sure how to tackle the day, what we want to get done. And a lot of us are having an identity crisis where we're not really sure what we identify with or what group of people we identify with. And so it's causing a lot of butting of heads. And so I wanted us to first look at the topic of what we do first thing in the morning. So when we wake up, the first thing that we do before we even think about what we want to eat, what we have to do, if we have meetings, if we have class, whatever, wherever you are in your life, the first thing I guarantee almost 95% of people do is that they first wake up and the first thing they do is they pick up their phone and they're either checking their messages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok nowadays. And right off the bat, not even 5 minutes into you processing that you're even awake, you've already started to condition your body and your mind to feel a certain way subconsciously. So we are subconsciously triggering our minds to either become angry, feel sad, feel worthless, have guilt, have shame, have anxiety, and we don't even know what we're going to eat for breakfast. So on this first slide, I have written giving your power away to the outside world. And how you start your day determines how your day will go. So many people don't realize that the first hour of your morning really emphasizes the mood and the energy that's going to happen for the rest of the day. So if you're first thing you're doing is you're waking up and you're like, let me check what's going on Facebook, let me check what's going on Instagram, you're already conditioning your body to feel a certain way because something you may see is going to trigger you. And now what we're doing is we're feeding our subconscious minds junk food and not soul food. And it really creates the energy in our bodies of how we're going to present ourselves through that day. So what I mean is, whatever you're feeling on the inside is going to be a direct reflection of the outside. So if you show up downstairs in your home and you saw something and you're triggered, you don't even know you're triggered, but now when you're interacting with your family, you're a little snippy, you're a little sassy, you may snap back at somebody who asks you a question, and it's really because you have already told your mind and body to feel a certain way without mindfully and intentionally really thinking and feeling it. So if you see something on social media in the morning and throughout the day, that post or that Facebook picture, something you saw keeps coming up, you're ironing clothes, that thought comes up, you're making dinner, that thought comes up. If that post of somebody else's life is consistently coming up in your thoughts and in your mind, you're letting your past emotions really control your current future state. And when that emotional reaction, whatever it is, happens for a few hours, so you think about something multiple times a day, it turns into days, months, and for some people, even years, it ends up becoming your temperament. And so, what a lot of people don't realize is that social media is classified as an addiction. Just like people have an addiction to drinking alcohol or doing drugs, social media has been found to release the same chemicals in our brain called dopamine, and this makes you feel really, really good. So, for somebody who's an alcoholic, when they want to feel really good, they'll, turn to the bottle and just, drink a lot and numb their pain. For many people now, they have easy access to their cell phones. It's basically glued to our hands. And now every time someone may feel bad about themselves, they'll post a photo. So they get likes, they get followers. It makes them feel really good and they get that hit of dopamine. And that hit of dopamine is that rush of energy. And what it is, it's really like alcohol or drugs. It's a temporary band-aid. You get that high for maybe like a day, maybe a few hours, and then that's it. You're not really addressing the issue. And so when we don't really feel aligned and balanced inside, we end up resorting to external things. We end up giving our power away. Maybe if I buy that bag, I'll be happy. Maybe if I go out and buy myself a $5 latte from Starbucks, it'll make me happy, right? Like we start to find things like, oh, I get my nails done, it makes me feel really good. But what the underlying issue is self-love. So we haven't learned to love ourselves. And if we don't love ourselves, other people are not going to know how to love us. If we don't respect ourselves, other people are not going to know how to respect us. And the more of that energy we put out of self doubt, of lacking self love, that energy frequency is what is going to attract back that same energy. So you're going to go to work and you're going to say, no one respects me. It's because truly within yourself, you're not respecting yourself, or your family dynamic doesn't feel like there's enough love in it, and there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of just a lot of constant issues. And it's because you haven't sat down and really brought awareness to yourself about why you aren't loving yourself. And so um let me just go to the next slide. So your thoughts really create your reality. And maybe many of you know this, but whatever you think, it is what you become. And so scientifically, it's been proven that we have about 70,000 thoughts a day. Honestly, I probably have more. But those thoughts are thoughts that we already had yesterday. So 90% of the thoughts that we have 90% of the thoughts that we have are the same thoughts we already had. So whatever you're thinking about, what am I going to eat? Do I fit into this outfit anymore? What should I post on social media? Those thoughts, you've already thought about them, and you're just reliving those things over and over again. And the crazy thing is 70% of those thoughts that you have are negative. So you may think, oh, I'm overweight, I don't look good, this person has really nice hair, this girl wears hijab better than me, this girl is married, this guy, he has a nice job, he just got a new car, I'm still driving my parents' car. So we have these constant thoughts in our head, and they keep coming over and over in our minds. And then what's happening is it's becoming a part of us. And so whatever we see that triggers us from the external world, whether it be social media, whether it be from our workplace, from our families, it's because you've experienced an event in your past that's caused some kind of trauma or some kind of emotional response. And so what starts to happen is that your genes start to change. And this has been scientifically proven that 90% of our health problems are from our environment, and it's affecting our internal being. And we stop focusing on becoming the best versions of ourselves, and we start to think that things will bring us happiness. Oh, this girl did the keto diet. If I do the keto diet, I'm going to be skinny, and if I'm skinny, people are going to like me. Or oh, this guy went to this university, did this program, got this job, and he has a really nice house, I'm going to do the same thing. And so what we're doing is we're just running after these superficial external things, trying to recreate something that someone has already done to apply it to our lives, and then we end up finding that we may not be happy. And the best example of this is social media. I mean, look at celebrities, actors, influencers, right? They look like they have the best life, they have the best things, and then somebody suddenly they'll post that, oh, I've been seeing a therapist, I'm severely depressed, or God forbid we'll hear on the news or see an article, somebody committed suicide, and they wanted to take their own life, and they left a note like, I just wasn't happy. And then you were like, oh my God, you have like multi-billion dollar from this movie or this song, you have like multiple mansions, you have these cars, everyone wants to be around you, everyone's paying for you. And we're looking at those things, those external world factors, and we're saying like, that's what makes people happy, right? Like, that's what I need. And so what we don't realize is the reality is many of us have become robots. And what I mean by this is we are lacking issues of self-love, self-confidence, negative thoughts, old memories, competition with others, and living in the past, because we're not challenging ourselves. We're not allowing ourselves to feel new things. So many of us have been maybe working the same job 20, 30, 40 years. We wake up, do the same thing every single day. It's like become a ritual, it's become a routine. And then we complain about life that nothing changes, right? We diet, doesn't work. We pray, we don't feel anything. We've been working, we're not getting a promotion. And then you'll meet somebody, right? We always know that one person in our life. We always like, for me, at one point in my life, it was one of my coworkers, every single day complaining, oh, I'm not being treated well here, I need a raise, I'm so overweight, my kids don't respect me. And after a while, you ask like, hey, what's going on, like, why are you so negative all the time? And then when you ask them, they remember this one thing or this one event, and it's like, yeah, my wife left me, my parents used to call me fat, my teacher said I was stupid, this guy said I was ugly, these friends said I was boring and they didn't want to hang out with me. Those events, those situations and experiences, at that moment you may write it off and say, yeah, whatever, it's not a big deal. But slowly that thought, it leaks into your mindset, and then you start to relive it over and over again. And out of nowhere, you'll be doing something, and you'll be ironing your clothes, and suddenly you're like, yeah, like, I can't believe that those group of people iftar party without me, and I'm friends with them, and I invited them to my iftar party, and they had it and didn't care to even see if I wanted to come. And that event happened 3 years ago, and you're sitting here in 2021 thinking about the iftar party that happened 3 years ago. And so what we're doing is we are constantly making our bodies live in stress mode, and that's not normal, right? We shouldn't be stressed out all the time. There should be a balance with being stressed out. Yes, stress in some situations is good. Someone's chasing you and trying to rob you, you want to run, right? Like, you're a zebra in the wild and a lion is hungry, it's iftar time and he's running after you, you want to run away. Yes, your stress heightens, but then when you're in safety and when the situation has been done and you're safe, those stress hormones, they should be coming down. But what's happening is we keep reliving past events, and instead of addressing them and accepting them, we're just letting them consistently ruin and run our lives. And then it gets heightened because we keep letting external things like social media trigger a thought process that makes us go back into that spiral. So when I said that 90% of our current health problems are caused by the external world, the external factors, it's that scientifically they've found, yes, there are some people who genetically are born with certain illnesses, like they may be diabetic, type 1 diabetics, and that's genetic. There might be something else that's going on. But things like obesity, hypertension, high blood pressure, um, in some cases, some arthritis, being overweight, 90% of that is caused because of our thoughts. It's caused because we keep reliving a situation that's causing it to manifest in a physical form. And so it's also attributed to the stress level that I just mentioned. 70% of our life is in survival mode. So what we're doing is we keep thinking that that passive information, sorry, that past event is going to happen again. And so we keep preparing ourselves to be prepared this time. Like it's not going to be a shock. Like if someone doesn't invite me to an iftar party, I'm not going to be triggered. And you're preparing. Ramadan's here. You're going on Instagram. You're looking, oh my God, is anyone hanging out? You're opening Instagram. Let's say you want to get married and suddenly you wake up and the first thing you see is 3 girls in your community got engaged. And you're sitting there and saying, oh my God, she's younger than me. Oh my God. She doesn't wear hijab. Oh my God, she wears hijab. Oh my God, why? Like why is this working out for this person and not for me? And now we're in survival mode. When some of us, we wake up and the first thing we do, we look at our phones. We're mentally already stressed. We're like, what am I going to see? Like what's going to happen? And so that's 70% of survival mode is dangerous because it's high stress all the time and it's not allowing our bodies to come back to equilibrium. And so that's why you'll hear that nowadays a lot of people are saying, I'm suffering from like mental health issues. I get anxiety. I have panic attacks. I'm confused. I feel stressed all the time. Like I don't know how to function throughout the day. And it's because we're allowing external things to really impact our mindsets without realizing it. And then to take it to an Islamic level, we're heightening our soul diseases. So our nafs, we know that there's two diseases, right? There's the disease, the physical disease that I just talked about, where you are overweight, you have become hypertensive, you have heart disease, you had a heart attack. Those are physical manifestations of diseases that are curable, right? Those are, you can take medication, you can change your diet, and you can prevent them. Those are chronic illnesses. Then we have diseases of the soul. Those are diseases of envy, jealousy, anger, guilt, shame. And that kind of stress, it causes imbalance. If you're constantly getting triggered that you're looking for a job and everyone around you has a job, or that someone has a nicer house or car than you and you get jealous or you get envious, and that feeling is amplified in your heart, when that heart feels like it's contracting and it's like a tinge, like a pinch of a pain, that is a spiritual disease. That means that your soul is imbalanced in the sense that you're giving your power away to the negative aspects of the insan. And so what you're doing is you're becoming addicted. Soul wise, you're becoming addicted because it's so familiar. It's so much easier sometimes for people to say, yeah, like whatever, like everything works out for her. Who cares? Like she's annoying anyways. Or you find ways, right? You like that, crave that feeling of familiarity. And so those changes, your brain, it's like, yeah, this is normal. Like let's just keep thinking like this, let's keep feeling like this. Oh, you want that cookie, go get that cookie, this is normal. And so when you want to come out of it, when you're like, hey, I'm done with being overweight, I'm done with feeling sad, I'm done with having anxiety, you take a stance, right? Like you're like, okay, today is Sunday, tomorrow Monday, inshallah, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to make positive habits. And you do it 1 or 2 days, and what happens is it's not familiar to your brain. Your brain freaks out. It doesn't like unfamiliar things because it's used to that past, right? It knows how to feel. It knows like, okay, when I see this kind of post, I'm trying to have a baby, I'm not having a baby. Oh, someone just said I'm pregnant, I'm going to go get the drink from Starbucks because it makes me happy. Okay, I'm going to do this. And so you're just familiar, you keep reliving it. And so what happens is when we try to change, your brain says, no, 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 what are you doing? This doesn't feel right. You're scared. That's why when people have to make changes, they're scared. Their brain doesn't know how to process it because they've been living the same way robotically for 10 years, 15, 20 years, 30 years. Even with prayer, even with spirituality, okay, I got to pray 5 times a day. I got to read Dua Komel on Thursdays. I got to read Quran like this. I need to do this. But you stop feeling things. And then when you want to say, okay, maybe I'll wake up 15 minutes earlier than Fajr and read this dua and read the translation and understand it. You do it 1 day, 2 days, but then you don't do it again. It's because your brain doesn't process change well. And so when you try to become a new person, your brain wants you to be the old self. And what happens is the past trauma, the past feelings that we have, they end up manifesting so deeply in our minds, our bodies, and our souls that our mind and body, it becomes one machine. It doesn't know that something is actually happening today or it happened 5 to 10 years ago. And so unconsciously, you keep reacting and not realizing that the past is making you um, consistently stay the same. And now this has become your personality. So this is just a like a depiction of an energy aura. So we know Allah has created all of us as energetic beings. And so on the left side is a aura, right? So each of us have an energy. They always say energy is currency. When you walk into a room, before you even open your mouth, you can already feel the vibes off of somebody. And so when you are happy or you're sad inside, people can feel that from you, right? Like how many times have you gone to an event and you're like, that person gives me really bad vibes. Like, I don't like the way they make me feel. They make me uncomfortable. It's because that aura, that energy is being felt. And so what we're doing is, as I mentioned, is we're giving our energy in the wrong places, and it's causing us to leak into our spirituality and our daily life. And that's what's leaving a lot of us unhappy and not satisfied, because we keep living the past. We keep living the trauma. We're not addressing it. Instead of addressing it, we say we're fine. We push it down, and then we are letting the external stimuli constantly burst and leak into our energy bubble. So the goal is, on the right side, is this energy bubble where you don't have any more tears or rips. You're really being protective of your energy and your mindset. So one sec. I just also wanted to say that don't worry, we're going to address like how to get to the root of this. So what we need to do is that we need to first create a vision of who we want to become, who we want to be. When we don't create a thought or a vision of who you want to become and how your life ideally should be, the only definition you have of success or your personality is the past. So we keep defining success based off of dunya things, right? Like what people say, get married, have kids, get a good job, get a nice house in this neighborhood, and that's it. That's success. But then why are so many of us still finding our lives unhappy? I'm not saying any of us are ungrateful, but many of us, we're feeling lost, and we feel purposeless. We feel like there's no more meaning in life because we're doing the Islamically prescribed things. We're doing the worldly things, right? Like you got that job, you put yourself through university or whatever, and we still don't think we're good enough. Is because we haven't tuned into us. We haven't tuned into our needs. We've heard the hadith where an hour in silence is like greater than 70 years of worship. That hour of silence is created as a means to really reflect. Why has Allah, have us pray 5 times a day? Because 5 times a day, He wants you to bring awareness. He doesn't need us to pray to Him. Allah is the magnificent. He's the creator of the universe, of the worlds, multiple. He's the creator of the skies, the heavens, everything functions without us fine. So what is this notion of pray 5 times a day, reflect? It's the idea that sit down 5 times a day and reflect what happened in your life. Was it good? Was it bad? But you're aware, you're bringing awareness to that. And so He's created all of us with a purpose, but the reason why a lot of us haven't found our purpose is because we've become this robotic mind body machine. We've become slaves to the system of just get this, do this way. And like I said, we recreate it. You see somebody do the keto diet on social media. So you're like, hey, they lost weight. I need to lose weight. And then maybe I'll feel better about myself. You go and you recreate it and you realize that that doesn't work for you. Maybe you're sensitive to dairy and you're eating too much and all that stuff. And then you feel bad about yourself and you keep going back to that past person because we haven't sat with ourselves and we haven't thought about how can I better myself? What things do I have to do within me We have to stop looking, like I said, every morning we wake up and the first thing we do is we're giving our power out to people by minding their business. We're not minding our business, and we're not checking in with ourselves. And so then we get to a point where when we feel purposeless, lost, and empty, our energy, like here I showed the rips, where our energy is leaving. It's like the internet. When you open Google Chrome and you open too many internet tabs, it's giving your computer's energy to like 17 different places. You're like that internet. You're giving your energy out to so many places. And then we get frustrated. And then we ask, you know, why is Allah doing this to me? Why is my life such a struggle? Why is this always like me, me, me? And then I look out and everyone's fine. Everyone's doing well. Everyone has a house and a family and a job and went to a good university except me. And we need to start changing our mindsets. We need to start saying, not why me, Allah, try me, right? Like, why are you doing this to me? No, Allah, what do you want me to learn from this situation? What is it that you want to teach me? Because remember, every single situation in our life is either a lesson or a blessing. And all of us have been created with a purpose. And we have to stop comparing ourselves to others. And we have to stop thinking that we aren't purposeful. Like we were just created, oh, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, that's it. Or I'm just gonna go to school and I'm gonna work this job. I don't know if I'm gonna get married. I don't know if anyone's gonna like me. And we start to doubt ourselves and we're letting external stimuli numb our creativity. And we have to remember that Allah has created this universe with so much abundance, with so much possibility. We can't look at one person's life and think that that possibility worked for them, but I don't have a possibility. Because when Allah created our souls and he asked who wants to go and be tested, who wants to go to the earth and live this trialed life, we volunteered. Our nafs, our souls woke up and said, yes, I'm going to go and I'm going to be challenged. And we know Allah says this in the Quran, that be sure you will be tested with something of fear and hunger, some of loss and goods, or lives or fruits of their toil, but give glad tidings to those who patiently persevere. So a lot of us think that Allah is not listening to our du'as and Allah is not doing this. Our mindsets, we've created that definition of God. We've created that, our life is in lack, that we don't have enough, that we won't ever be satisfied. It's because our thoughts become reality and reality becomes things. So if you're giving your energy to the wrong places, if you're focusing on the external world, if you think outside things will bring you happiness, it's not. You're going to keep living that past. You're going to keep living that situation over and over. And then so many of us are feeling like Allah is far from us. We are feeling like Allah is not listening anymore. And we have seen it in the Quran, and we've probably heard this in the lecture so many times that he said, "O Muhammad, when my servants ask you about me, behold, I am near. I respond to the call of him who calls. Whenever he calls unto me, let them then respond unto me and believe in me so that they might follow the right path." Allah is a part of us. We know that he's closer to us than our jugular vein. And so that's why Allah and Islam emphasizes this positive lifestyle, is to have good company, have good habits, doing things for the sake of Allah, being righteous, giving charity. We're fasting in Ramadan, being kind to others, knowing that when Allah in the Quran says, when you kill one life, it is as if you've killed all of humanity. And when you save one life, it is as if you saved all of humanity. We need to think about it, that someone else's success in our communities, and even if they're Muslim or non-Muslim, is a success for us, because we're all humans. We're all one. We're all from one fabric of energy, right? Allah created us all the same. When he created Adam, he created us and he blew his ruh into us. We're all not his 99 names in a manifested form. And so we have to start bringing awareness to where our minds are going. We have to start bringing awareness to, why is this thought constantly triggering me? And then we have to sit down and we have to say, what is it about this person, or what is it about this situation that's making me feel unhappy? Because whatever you're feeling on the inside, as I mentioned, it's a reflection on the outside. So if you see something and you go downstairs and suddenly, your mom is like, or your brother or your dad is like, hey, I'm going to go to the store to buy something. Do you want to come? And you're like, what's your problem? No, like, leave me alone. That right there, the snappy energy, the hostility, that those vibes, it's being caused because there's some kind of past event that you're allowing to take power over you. And so create, sit down, envision who you want to become. What is your ideal personality? What is your ideal temperament? And reflect on it. Imagine it. Imagine the feeling of what it's going to be like to become that person. And the best way that we can do this is not only with prayer, but with meditation, because we have to remember that we are good enough. And so when I spoke about the subconscious mind, it's important for us to realize that we have wired our minds to think a certain way up until this point, but we can rewire our minds to think new thoughts, to become new people in a positive way. And so by meditating, by prayer, daily reflection, gratitude, and limited exposure to social media in the morning is really going to allow you to take your energy and start to infuse it into the right places to bring that satisfaction, to find that purpose in your life. And so I want us to do a quick meditation today. And so I'm going to ask you, if you're not sitting on the floor, to sit on the floor. I'm going to also move to the floor. So just give me like 30 seconds. And I want us to start to become aware about our thoughts. And so inshallah, I'm going to take us through a meditation. And before that, I'm going to talk about meditation a little bit, transition from this awareness of your mindset and how meditation can help you tap into your subconscious mind. So sorry, give me 1 second. I'm going to move to the floor. Can you guys still hear me okay if I moved?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. So let me put the charger in. So I'm just gonna pause. I see there's like something in the chat box, but while I'm pulling up the next screen, is it possible to flourish with positivity if you're living in an environment that is perhaps negative? Yes, 100%. You can do that, and I'm gonna get into that. I just want to pull up the other. Okay, so now I'm going to transition into the power meditation and link, and I want to show you guys the importance of meditation. And I know, so in the beginning, I was very skeptical about meditation when I first learned about it. I was like, oh, meditation is for hippies. I already pray 5 times a day. Like, who needs to meditate, right? Like, I was very proud to be Muslim in the sense where I felt like I was too good, like I didn't need it. And so I started to realize that, you know, I had a lot of issues going on mentally, in the sense where I was getting triggered and I would get upset and I would get angry or like just like sad or anxious, and I didn't understand why, because I'm like, I pray, I do this, like why is this happening to me, and like why am I feeling this way? And then the more and more I learned and I reflected, I found that meditation is a means to really dig in deep. And with prayer, yes, we pray 5 times a day, and that's to really bring awareness and reflection to our days and the beauties and the mercies of Allah. And it's to honor Allah and worship Him, you know, for being our creator. And then with meditation, it allows you to dig in deep to yourself, to find reasons to really transform, to be able to bring that transformative energy into your prayers. And so, like we mentioned, current situation is we're letting our ego get in the way of everything, and we aren't feeling anymore. And so we start to play victim. I mentioned how a lot of us are saying like, oh, it's because I have this job, it's because my family is this, it's because so and so has more money than me, that's why they have this and I don't. So we're giving our energy in the wrong places. And this is, like I showed you guys, the energy rips in our aura, and it starts to impact us and our external energies that surround us. And our emotional pain is what starts to come into our physical being. And we need to start unhooking and detaching all of this stuck energy and let it go. And this is where meditation comes in. So, like I said, the first key step is acceptance and self love. When you really start to love yourself, and when you start to accept that you have a positive and a negative side, you are able to start closing that aura, that bubble of energy that I showed you. So, what I mentioned earlier is that the soul has, the qualities of being positive, being humble, being merciful, being loving. But then we also have that side of us that's, angry, jealous, envious, shameful. We feel guilty. And what we have to remember is that we need to honor both sides of us. We need to accept that Allah, just like we know Allah can be so merciful and so kind, but He can also be wrathful, right? Like He can, it's mentioned in the Quran that He can also bring down punishment or do this and do that. And so we also have a positive and negative side in this universe, this dunya. Allah has created it with balance, and Allah has said, that so many of my beauties, like that, in Surah Rahman. And so we know that, when there's night, there's day. Allah's created balance for everything. Everything in this universe has been created mathematically, precisely, symmetrically. And just like that in the universe, humans have been created to have balance. We need to accept that we get jealous. We need to accept that we have envy. We need to accept these things, but we also need to accept that we have good qualities. And once we accept that we have these two sides of us and we merge them together and we say, yes, I get jealous. Yes, I get envious. But what is it? What things, what situations trigger that to become amplified? And how can I reduce that amplification so that I can allow the positive attributes to really take hold and bring me to balance? And the first step is always to set an intention and ask Allah, show me, guide me. And we need to stop living in the mindset that He's not listening. And we always you hear, oh, I want to wake up for Fajr. I want to wake up for Fajr. And so you always hear a sheikh say, set the niyyah, right? Set the intention. The night before, say, set your alarm and say, I want to wake up for Fajr. Make the intention. Because when you say, I am, I will, your mind is starting to be conditioned that this is going to become a thought, and it starts to wire your brain differently. So the advantages of meditation is first closing our eyes. When we shut out the stimuli from the external world, we're not watching TV, we're not looking at our phones. That allows us to start to bring awareness inside. When you start to breathe deeply, breathing is a form of allowing your energy to come to center. In the prehistoric times, when someone would get shocked, they would take a deep breath, like, and that would tell your body, oh my God, I'm scared. Oh my God, what's happening? When you breathe in deeply and then you release, you allow your body to realize that it needs to come down and needs to de-stress. And when you start to do those intentionally, where you're closing your eyes, you're breathing deeply, now you're becoming present. And now you can become aware of what's going on. What are you thinking about? Okay, iftar, we're doing this. Okay, I need to pray soon. I need to clean the kitchen. All right, those are surface things. Let's go deeper. Now you're in a place where you're going to start to rewire your mind and your brain. And so we have two sides of our brain, the right side and the left side. The right side of our brain is the creative side, and the left side is our ego, that side that is that survival, flight or fight mode. And so when we're constantly so mentally active, where we're on social media, we're thinking, we're getting triggered, we're having all these feelings, it's because we're allowing ourselves to be in that stress state. And so you want to allow your mindset to go from those active wavelengths of like learning and being really aware, the beta wavelengths, and bring them down and slow them down to alpha. When you're thinking, you're more relaxed. Maybe you're on your phone, you're scrolling, just passively. But then when we get into meditation, we go into that theta state. That theta wavelength state is when you're really in that mystical state. That state where you don't care if the TV's on, you don't care if your phone is buzzing. You're with yourself and you're with your heart, and you're ready to really dig deep into your soul. And so inshallah, today I want to do a meditation with one of the names of Allah. Um, I know that a lot of people in Iqra Library do meditations with other people and all that stuff. And I'm sure they've emphasized the importance of using the 99 names of Allah, and how when Allah created Adam, you know, he literally breathed, he said, I breathed my ruh into him. And so we are those manifestations of those 99 names. Like I said, we have the ability to be compassionate. We have the ability to be loving, merciful, and generous. And what's going on is, because we're so numb to our environments, where we're just waking up and we're logging into the world and not logging into ourselves, we've numbed our creativity. The more you meditate, the more you internalize and feel, the more Allah sends divine energy to you. He sends awareness to you. You'll have a thought, and that thought just come, and you're like, I don't know where I got this from. It's because Allah's instilling it into you. And so when we activate these 99 names, we're activating those positive qualities within us that really allow us to live an optimal life. And so I want us to begin our meditation. I just want to put on a frequency. Yeah, I think that this is being recorded, and that inshallah oh, okay, sorry, you answered. Okay, so I'm gonna play this frequency, and just let me know if you can hear it. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, we can hear that too.
Okay, great. Awesome. So today's meditation, and you can still hear my voice. Maybe a little. Is this better? Can you hear me and the
Yeah.
frequency?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so first, what I want us to do is, if you can sit on the floor, please sit on the floor. Remember that Allah has put so much energy in the earth beneath us, and that's why a lot of us pray on a turba, is because when we go down in sujood, we're infusing our body's energy and we're grounding ourselves. When we hear people say, oh, you know, I go outside in nature and I ground myself, it's because Allah has created the earth as a remedy for the insan. We are also made from clay. And so when we go out into nature and we do sujood, we're really connecting to Allah in that way through his beautiful creations. And so with this meditation, I want us to close our eyes. So we're going to close our eyes, and I want you to take a deep breath in and release, and breathe in and release out through your mouth. And let's do that one more time. Breathe in and release. I want you to imagine that there's this beautiful white golden light, like a sphere, like a ball, that's hovering over your head. Take a deep breath in. And I want you to imagine that ball absorbing into the top of your head. Take a deep breath and release. And imagine that ball is slowly coming through your body. It's passing down through your neck. And now it's passing your heart area. It's trickling down both arms, the right and left, all the way down into your fingertips. And we are going to allow that ball of energy to pass our stomach area, our hips. Keep breathing and release. And now that energy is all the way down both of our legs into our toes. And I want us to really sit in this white light energy and take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And so for today's meditation, I want to take us somewhere very special today. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be extracting that ball of energy again, like you're sucking a straw and taking out all of the liquid from a glass. You're essentially that glass, and I want you to imagine that white light energy coming back up your legs. Keep breathing. It's now passing your hips, your stomach area, your chest, and now it's passing your head, through your head, and now it's up and it's hovering over us again. I want to take our souls, our ruh, I want to take it somewhere very special, especially in these holy nights and days of Ramadan. So when I count down from 5, I want you to imagine that this ball of energy is launching itself into the universe where you're looking down at Earth. So take a deep breath in, breathe in, and release. Great job. And now in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We have now launched our energies into the universe, into the galaxy, and we are looking down at Earth. And now I want us to drop our energy down into one of the most beautiful places on this earth, and that is in the holy city of Mecca. I want us to drop down, and we are going to be present, inshallah, our energy in front of the Kaaba to really absorb the power of this beautiful holy city and this place. So when I count down from 5, let's take a deep breath and release. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have now dropped down into the holy Kaaba, surrounded by this beautiful energy, this serene, tranquil, mystical, cosmic energy that Allah has created in this space. And the Kaaba is in the center of the world. It's on top of a vortex, and whenever a part of a land is on top of a vortex, there's a different energy that isn't felt in any other place. Let's take a deep breath in and release. And I want us to be imagining ourselves sitting in front of the Kaaba, and you're just in awe of the beauty. I know when I first went, I couldn't believe how big it was, because when you look at a picture, it just looks like a small cube, and you go there and you just look up and you're just in awe of how, Prophet Ibrahim and his son built such a beautiful place. It's just you and there's nobody else. Take a deep breath in and release. And so to start this meditation, I want us to first surrender to Allah, that all of our affairs, all of our worries, everything that we're thinking, we surrender it to Him, because He is the Creator, He is the Almighty, He is the most compassionate, and He is the most merciful. And that we've come here today to balance ourselves, to balance our nafs, to help us take out those negative energies within us that's preventing us from being satisfied with His generosity. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Now that we've surrendered to Allah, I want you to imagine that when you take this next deep breath, that like a vacuum, the center of your stomach is sucking in any negative energy, any dense energy from all parts of your body, any black smoke, anything that feels like it's holding you back. that jealousy, that envy, the shame, the guilt that you're having in whatever situation it is. We're going to take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and let, like a vacuum, suck in all of those negative energies to the pit of your stomach, whether it's coming from your heart, from your mind, from your fingertips, from your back. Let it all come to the center. And now we're going to exhale out our mouth, and I want you to imagine that you're exhaling this negative energy. Great job. We're going to do it again. In through your nose. Hold it. Again, allow any negative energy to be sucked into the center. Exhale. Amazing. Let's do this one more time. Inhale. And hold it. And release. Let all of that negative sludge energy exhale and leave your body. I feel like we need to do this one more time. Let's inhale in. Amazing. And exhale. Beautiful. Now that we've released this negative energy from our bodies, I want us to replace it with beautiful light energy. And so I want you to imagine as if you're looking up at the sky. You don't have to open your eyes. I want you to keep your eyes closed and position your head where you're looking up to the skies, the Arsh of Allah, and you're asking Allah that you want Him to replace this negative energy with positive energy, positive qualities. That today we want to activate some of His names so that we can live every day in such peace and understand the beauty and the life that that He's created for us is a blessing, and that there is meaning and that there is purpose in each of our lives, and that we're seeking those answers today. And so as we're looking up, I want you to imagine that there's this one cloud in the sky, and it's beautiful, it's soft, it's fluffy. There's beautiful birds flying by. The sky is blue, it's clear, it's warm, but the cool marble under your feet is cooling you, and you can feel the light breeze touching your face.
Sorry, Farwah, we can't hear you. You just got on mute.
Is this better?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so I want you to imagine that you are looking up, but with your eyes closed. And you see this one cloud in the sky. It's beautiful, it's fluffy, there's birds flying by. And that you can feel the breeze, you can feel the light air touching your skin, and you can feel the cool marble that's around the Holy Kaaba cooling your body. And I want you to imagine that this cloud is now spinning clockwise like a very light, gentle tornado. And it's opening up the Arsh of Allah. It's opening up the heavens. And I want you to imagine that there's this beautiful white light energy descending down. And you're like, it's like a spotlight over your body. And it's slowly coming down very gently. And the first drop is about to penetrate the top of your head. I want you to give it permission that you accept this beautiful white energy light. And now we're going to guide this beautiful white light energy through our bodies. And so we're going to be meditating with 3 names of Allah today. And so these 3 names are going to be Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, and Al-Mujib. And we know Ar-Rahman is the most compassionate, Ar-Rahim the most merciful, and Al-Mujib is the one who hears, the one who replies, the one who reciprocates. So that remembering that Allah is hearing every breath, every thought, every dua that we made in these nights of Qadr, every desire that you want, Allah is listening. So I want you to take your hands, Put them on top of your head. And imagine that this white light energy has absorbed into top of your head. So we're going to start with Ar-Rahman, 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 Ar-Rahim, 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 Al-Mujib, Al-Mujib, Al-Mujib. Beautiful. Now we're going to move this energy to the front of our face. So take your hands and cover your face. Ar-Rahman, 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 Ar-Rahim, 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 Al-Mujib, Al-Mujib, Al-Mujib. Beautiful. Put your hands in front of your neck. Ar-Rahman, 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 Ar-Rahim, 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 Al-Mujib, Al-Mujib, Al-Mujib. Beautiful. We're going to move our hands. Put your right hand over your heart and your left over your right. And we're going to spend some time here. Because remember, the heart is the seat of the soul. And when we can bring down the walls of the heart, whatever's making our heart hard, whatever's making us feel pain there, let's release that and let's infuse it with this energy of Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Take a deep breath. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. We have to remember that Allah is the most compassionate. He is the most merciful. He is not punishing you. He's trying to teach you something. He wants you to become closer to him. Al-Mujib, he wants you to know that he's listening, that he reciprocates when you ask from him. He will give to you. It's about being patient and understanding that when we know ourselves, we know our Lord. When we know who we are, we understand Allah and the deep divine secrets of this universe. Take a deep breath and release. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. I want us to move our hands and put them over our stomach. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. And now move your hands, one hand over both knees. So touch your knees. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. And now touch the bottom of your feet. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Mujib. Take a deep breath and release. I want you to not physically get up, but imagine that your energy body is standing up. And I want you to walk over to the Kaaba. And I want you to put both of your hands out. And I want you to absorb the beautiful energy of the Kaaba. You can feel that tingling in your hands. And take in that energy. And if there's something that you forgot to ask, or if you want to ask Allah a hajat, please do so. He is always listening. He's Al-Mujib. He is listening. He's reciprocating. He's always near. Beautiful. Feel that tingle in your fingers and your palms. Remember, our palms are energy centers. And when we go down in sujood, when we touch things, this is where a lot of energy enters our bodies. Beautiful. Take a deep breath. Release. And before we leave this beautiful place, I want us to pay our salutations to our beautiful Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family that's buried in Jannatul Baqi. And send our love to Rasulullah, and send our love to our Imams. And ask them to be wasilas to pray for us. Take a deep breath and release. Beautiful. And as hard as it is for us to leave, our energetic bodies to leave, I want us to know that inshallah, Allah will call each of us to be physically present and to do the Umrah and to do the Hajj inshallah soon. But for now, we have to go back into our physical bodies wherever we are in the world. And so taking a deep breath in and releasing, I want us on counting down from 5 to imagine that we're taking our energy balls, our energy centers of beautiful renewed white light, and we're launching them back into the universe in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Take a deep breath and release. And if there is any negative energy that you feel like is still holding on to you, take a deep breath in, hold it, let any last bits of particle energy, of negativity, of sludge energy that's holding you down, suck into the center of your stomach, release. Beautiful. And now, when I count down to 5, we are going to be returning back to our physical bodies. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to allow that energy ball to slowly infuse into the top of our heads. Take a deep breath and release, and let it absorb you completely. It's moving through every cell of your body. Beautiful. And I want you to wiggle your fingers and your toes to make sure you're fully aware that you're back. And when I count to 3, I want you to gently open your eyes if you're ready. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Welcome back, everyone. How's everyone feeling?
Beautiful. So full of energy. Just a wonderful experience going to see the Holy Kaaba and to be there. Our hearts have been yearning since the pandemic. We've not been able to go anywhere. So what a beautiful gift that you've given us on this day, especially after the Laylatul Qadr, on this blessed day of the month of Ramadan. Thank you so much for this wonderful experience.
Thank you. And I'm sorry we ran over time, but I felt like the meditation I needed to do it today. I was going to say, can we do the meditation next time? But I said, I feel like we need to do this today.
It was a perfect timing, perfect. And Allah's the best planner. I had no idea, but honestly, it was beautiful, especially after the amals that we've done, the reflection we've all had. And I think this was just perfect, something to just cover it all up together. So thank you so much. If anybody has got any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask if there is anything or anything you would like to share about today's session as well. Please do feel free.
Please ask me questions. And if you follow me on social media, I do different events and different classes. For example, this weekend, I'm doing a class on how to build healthy habits. So how can we integrate habits that we've taken from Ramadan and apply them so that we stay energetically present for the rest of the year until next Ramadan? And I teach people, how can you wake up early for Fajr? How can you really maximize your day and really get a lot done? So let me check the chat.
I think Sister Tahmina wanted to say something, please.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. It was a really amazing spiritual journey with you. Thank you for holding this. I would like to know if you would do this again for us, and if you could do it on a regular basis, that would be amazing. So many of us are under the blues of long lockdowns and miserable cold winter nights locked in our houses and struggling with lots of issues. And this would be a great way to vent out and actually meditate and reconnect with nature, beautiful nature, and Allah again.
I absolutely agree with you. I'm so happy that you enjoyed it, and inshallah, I'm gonna do my best. I will definitely talk to Ikra Library and see what we can do, inshallah. And I hope that inshallah in the future I can always be present to help anyone in need.
You have a gift. You really have a gift, which needs to be shared with so many who need it. And I think it will be a great experience, and we can have more and more people joining us who would need something like this
Absolutely.
to get on with their days and get on with their lives, actually.
Yeah, and
So
I'm so glad you said that, because I was on this journey, and I thought that I was alone. Like, I really didn't think a lot of people were
yeah,
struggling, especially with COVID.
people don't share, people don't speak, people think it's always good to be quiet, but I don't think it's a good idea. I think we should be more vocal about these things and help and support each other who are going through difficult times.
Yes, definitely. We need to bring awareness, and we need to bring acceptance that people are struggling, especially
Yes,
with having a lot of, for the youth, I've noticed it's an identity crisis of identifying with being Muslim, and how does prayer and meditation help, or where is Allah in all of it?
exactly. Exactly. Lots of questions, and the one I frequently encounter from people I know are, why do trials happen? Why does pandemic happen? Allah doesn't love us, or Allah is trying us, or things like that. So lots of questions are up in the air.
Definitely, I 100% agree with you, and I'm actually working on a project that I'm launching inshallah next week. And
Wow.
I'll share it with everyone that I've been working. And it's called Renewed Nafs. Renewed Nafs, so renewing your soul. And
Wow.
mind body soul program that inshallah is going to teach people how to encounter the mind, the body, and the soul through diet, through meditation, prayer, and daily lifestyle, fusing the Western culture and the Islamic culture together to bring success.
Wow.
I've studied every successful entrepreneur, and I've obviously studied Islam and the importance of certain rituals and prayers that we do. And I've all together in one, so that people can live a maximized day to their highest potential.
Yes, and we can help our children also. A lot of youth doesn't come out and share. So as mothers, I think we have a great responsibility here to guide them and give a positive light and a positive image of Allah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm realizing, is a lot of our youth is becoming godless, where they think that social media is the new God, and this is the ideal way of living, and that we need this to be happy. But in reality, it's all a facade. It's a temporary band-aid.
Addiction, lots of addiction. Yeah.
And so I teach people how to break those addictions, especially the youth and people my age and older, because a lot of us are either addicted to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, messages, WhatsApp groups. It becomes very toxic for our nafs, and our nafs is everything, right? It's
totally. I think these nights have given us another sort of window into what we were missing out. And I think we loved where we were last night and then the nights before. And I think we need to continue that. And so please share with us where we could find you, where we could come back and have this spiritual experience again, or if you could do it on a weekly basis, maybe, or once in a month, as it suits you. It would be great.
Yeah, so I'm going to share my email address in the chat box, and I'm sure
so we don't even know your Instagram page.
No, I have started following you on Instagram, Farwah. And yeah, and I want to know, can you do any private classes?
With groups?
Like, big group on Zoom or something like that. I'll be really, really very keen to join you.
Yes, so I do private classes with people, in the sense where I can work on them one-on-one, where I try to help you find the root of issues. And
that would be great. Can you come to Salisbury if I'll have a couple of friends here and we can do it together?
I would love to, but I live in New York.
Oh dear.
Yes.
So I think Zoom is the best
I
platform
think it
because
is.
it's convenient for you and you can reach out to more people. And
Yeah.
and it's good for everybody to be a part of this experience. I think it's
Definitely.
more
I
inclusive.
really enjoyed your class. Really
so
enjoyed.
glad.
I'm not at all into meditation and these types of things, but I really enjoyed, and you have convinced me to join your class now.
Thank you. And I'm honestly, I was a disbeliever of meditation, and I always remember how Prophet Muhammad meditated for 40 years before Allah
Amazing,
and Jibreel.
amazing.
So he was at a
You,
state of being so aligned with himself. And
Yeah.
yes,
what we as Muslims do is, unfortunately, of course, alhamdulillah, we are on the right path, inshallah, but we look at
Yeah.
other people and we don't learn from them. And, you know,
no.
Prophet Muhammad is
We are
like,
slaves. We are slaves of material world. We are always comparing ourselves, and we can't get out of that bubble. That's all we live for.
exactly.
How much do I have? How much does she have? I mean, that's all there is. And I think it's a great soul searching experience, and there's so much to learn from.
Yeah.
So it was lovely
Farwah,
going
one
to the Kaaba with you,
I,
and
excuse,
we'd love
excuse
to
me,
do that
Farwah.
again.
Excuse me, Farwah. One more question I want to ask you.
sure.
If I switch off the camera and if my husband wants to join, will you allow, or you won't
Yeah,
like?
yeah. I'm very open. I
Oh,
heard
very good. Excellent. Okay. I
male,
think both of us would like to join your class next time.
inshallah.
Sure.
I'm
Okay.
very open about having male, female, you know, just because men are
Great.
suffering, and young men and
Yes,
of
yes.
all ages. What women are good at is we come as a community and we talk, and we're very open and expressive. We'll
Yeah.
vent each other, but with men, they feel like they need to absorb it, and they're the ones who end up holding a lot of the anger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of expressing themselves, they maybe lash out, and then it causes that communication issue in families, father, daughter, wife, husband relationships. And so men need to also become expressive of their feelings.
They either take it out or they internalize. In both ways they are hurting themselves,
Exactly.
whether it's grown-up men or younger men. It's always the case.
Yeah. So I put my email address and my Instagram. And inshallah, the week before Ramadan ends, I'm going to be launching my project. And I'll be putting out like a link to the form if you're interested in joining that project. It's going to be about 5 weeks long, but we're going to be tackling your mind, body, and soul. I did a class last week about temperaments and how you eat according to Islamic diet and how it's changed my life. So I my diet to eat according to Islamic medicine from Imam Raza. And so how that
Wow.
I think that would be an interesting session. Farwah, what we can do is I'll work with you, and I think a lot of ladies are interested either weekly or even
Yes, please.
fortnightly or monthly
Amazing.
session. So we can do
Yes.
something in. I think you'd be great for the youths as well. And I've got 2 teenagers at home, and I think they would benefit from your sessions as well. So we can look into youth session as well, especially you know, covering the topics that you mentioned, the questions that they have as well. So inshallah, we'll look into it. We have got the Iqra Library WhatsApp group. I'll share all the details on there. I'll share the recording as well. Iqra Library sessions are usually open for males and females, unless if we've specified ladies only, but most of our speakers are happy to do to allow men to join in as well. As Farwah said, men benefit as well. It's all working together as well. But has anybody got any questions, any last minute questions before we wrap it up?
Yeah. Thank you so much. No, I'm fine.
I'm so honored, honestly. Alhamdulillah. I honestly woke up. I had like 1.5 hours of sleep, and I was like, I hope that I like don't I
I
don't
think
fall
Sister Yasmin, you've got a question or something you would like to share?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Alaikum assalam.
Hope everyone's okay. I just wanted to say, I've been actually blown away. Subhanallah, may Allah give you lots of barakah. May all your du'as be answered, because last year had made intention to go and do my Hajj, and Subhanallah, just that feeling, that yearning of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala asking and inviting us all, you know, to his beautiful home, and that we can give the salams to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So I'm very skeptical about meditation, and I've been experiencing exploring last few weeks now, but it really has been having an impact on me. Jazakallah, thank you.
So glad, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
please, I would like to have a one-to-one. I don't mind paying for it sometime.
Sure, you can message me.
Yeah.
And I put my email address in the chat box.
Yeah, please, can I telephone number? Is it possible?
Yeah, I can put my phone number. So I'm New York based. So this is my number. I'm on WhatsApp.
Okay.
And oh, I just messaged some private. Sorry. Hold on. Let me put my yeah, I do private sessions, I do group sessions, I do like I really want to teach people how to maximize their human potential through Allah. Because I feel like too many of us are resorting to external things like medication and doctors and all this stuff when truly we have the power within ourselves. Because Allah has created the insan elite and amongst the best of creations, and we're not, we don't believe that we're good enough, and that's why a lot of us are stagnant or feeling that our energy is stuck somewhere. So I just put my my phone number in the chat. You can WhatsApp me, and then, or yeah, the Ikra library, and inshallah I'll be added to that as well.
Yes, I'll share all the recording and all your information as well, your Instagram as well, so they can follow through the post as well. But I think it's time to end now. But thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a beautiful session, and the best gift was getting to the Kaaba. I think
Absolutely, absolutely divine.
Beautiful.
Divine.
I mean, we all prayed for it last night that we would like to go to the Kaaba, visit the ziyarat, and this was a beautiful gift. Thank you so much. The topic that you covered was beautiful as well. You covered it all, step by step, the energy bit, why are we not happy with ourselves, getting to know ourselves. That was beautiful. So thank you so much for an amazing session. Inshallah, we'll keep in touch and we'll do further more sessions. We do have the weekly meditation on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock with Sister Ravan as well. We also have another session where we're looking at the time management and self-discipline. We have another session as well coming into relating to the hadith of Imam Ali alayhi salam, where we are going to look at the universe that's within us and how we can empower ourselves as well. So thank you all to each one of you for your support, for joining Iqra Library sessions, for your du'as, your love. We can feel your love and your du'as as well. So please keep us in your prayers.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much to all
Inshallah.
our lovely speakers for sharing, you know, their gift and helping us all together in this journey. So thank you so much. Jazakallah. Khudafis, everyone. Khudafis.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, Khudafis.